Hello everyone, my name is Matt Scorpion, and welcome to another weekly reset. And of course, with that, this one comes with a hot fix that is short enough I can do it right now. Starting off, fixed an issue where killing a hive ghost was granting more than one revive token in activity, so the light blade might have less revives. Fixed an issue where the Grandmaster, the light blade, and the birthplace of the vial were not contributing to the total conquest triumph, so now you can actually become conqueror. Fixed an issue allowing players to exit the play area of eternity, so all those floating warlocks are now nerfed. Fixed an issue where killing envoys would not drop the primeval shield. Fixed an issue where the primeval would not appear after banking 100 motes. For gameplay, Syntheseps got a change. Fixed an issue where the bionic enhancement perk prevented shattering an encased player with an uncharged melee. A very specific case. The nerf to Renewal Grass. While equipped, Renewal Grass now increases the base cooldown of Duskfield from 62 seconds to 152 seconds. Holy jeez. And the outgoing damage penalty applied to players affected by the Renewal Grass Duskfield has been reduced from 50% to 20%, so you now only have 20% damage reduction in Crucible. Outgoing. Yeah, that's how it works. So that is also just a Crucible specific change, no change to PvE. Fixed an issue with the Summoner Auto Rifle on Saint's Reputation rank up is missing in its masterwork. The Offensive Bulwark Void aspect now grants 60% less bonus grenade energy regeneration in PvP game modes. The Titan Barricade base cooldown when the Bastion of the Void, Void aspect is equipped is now 82 seconds, up from 53, to match the recharge rate of a Warlock Rift, because it's essentially another Warlock Rift. Skip Grenade impact damage reduced from 8 to 4. Skip Grenade tracking strength now begins to decrease after 1 second, down to 50% after 3 seconds. Axion Bolt base cooldown increased from 91 to 152, so a more Axion Bolt nerf. Whisper of Chains now provides 15% bonus damage resistance against players when near a Stasis Crystal, down from 25, unchanged versus PvE. So these are all like Crucible metas already getting out of the way. And for general fixes, stability and crash fixes, fix a memory leak, contributing to crashes instability, and reduce the text chat spam throttle to allow more messages to be sent by a player before receiving the "you sent message to quickly" message. And on that note, back to Destiny. Okay, sweet, it kept me in the world. So, there is, it's a bit of a funky week going on in the world. I believe it's bonus infamy with Gambit Lab active with Mote Thief, which is basically, with Mote Thief active, let's see, that's Gambit rules, double rank. It doesn't exactly say, but there we go. Invaders can steal motes by standing near the bank. So, you can't just run and hide from invaders anymore. If you want to continue to generate your motes, you actually have to kind of hunt them down like before, but people stopped doing that. They just kind of either survived or, cheesed the invaders down. But going into the rest of the world, for the Vanguard, our Nightfall this week is the Light Blade. Oh boy. So, the Light Blade is currently what is available for everyone, and mostly everyone. If you want to do the GM, you can try, but of course, if you're one of the people that does manage to succeed, you can get your hands on the Adept Comedian, at least according to Light.gg. Their website has been a bit inaccurate, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was actually false. So if you want to get your hands on the Comedian, I'd recommend you do, aside from possibly the very last few weeks of the season. This is going to be the last chance that anyone's going to be able to get their hands on the Comedian until the end of whatever season they decide to reintroduce it, because it's one of the weapons leaving us at the end of the season. But that being said, modifiers include Empath for enhanced radar and boosted melee damage, removed radar for your unstoppable champions, Grandmaster modifiers for match game, equipment lock, limited revives, extinguish, mob champions with arc and solar shields, and acute arc burn. Now, I am not even kidding when I say this. I know almost every YouTuber on the world has been recommending you find a Tarantula to use the Viced Arc Linear Fusion Rifle. That doesn't matter. Honestly, I would recommend the hell out of a Grand Overture if I could equip it right now. Because not only does it hit pretty hard for a weapon in Arc Burn, where to go? Oh, right here. But when you actually finish the Catalyst, it gets some neato perks. Because the missile explosions will blind combatants. It's literally just a, hey, do you need to stop this thing that's not a champion or the boss? Or it's like Beefy Knight. Let's say there's just a Beefy Knight, or I think also a Light Bearer Knight. Is that in front of you? Shoot a few missiles. Guess what? It's blinded. Can't do anything. It is a pretty primo option, and anything killed by the missiles will then chain reaction, which actually does a pretty hefty damage. So this is an underrated recommendation. If you need an exotic and can't, or if you're like me and rarely ever have your exotic slot actually filled during a Nightfall, I'd recommend you just take Grand Overture if you got one leveled up. Now, moving on, like I said, Gambit Lab's active if you wish to play a new take on it. And with Crucible, it is Clash for our rotations, and I believe Trials will also be returning this weekend. And moving into our Legends tab for Vault of Glass, it is Conflux Challenge, which is, if you do it on Master Mode, you can get your hands on Time Lost, Vision of Confluence, and as well, at the same time with that, you can get Mobility Focus Armor from the Vault this week. So, if you don't know what Conflux Challenge is, basically you have to wait for the Sacrificial Wyverns to appear. You can only kill them when they are in the process of sacrificing at the Conflux. Now, if they despawn, that's fine, that also counts, so you should be good by that. But moving into the rest of the world, Sephiroth's Throne World. I always forget. Vow of the Disciple. Now, it is base information. This is a Caretaker Challenge, which is basically you can only deposit one glyph at a time, if I remember correctly, which might be a bit of a pain on Master, because supposedly I heard every glyph bank spawns another wave of Overload champions. So that could be a decent modicum of hell if you actually want to try and do challenge this week. But aside from that, the Master Mode modifiers are strength-focused armor. Hey, mobility strength, lol. But aside from that, into the rest of the world, the weekly mission in the Throne World, we have the Cunning. Follow the lead from Finch, search the dark corners of Sephiroth's Throne World for another clue on how she stole the light. I do believe this is the one with the Ahamkara and that annoying Scorn crossbow boss, so if you wanted to avoid this week, I wouldn't blame you. Supposedly this one's annoying, but then again, Master Mode is easier than most things. Then it's actually somehow easier than Legend Campaign for some people. Now, for the Wellspring itself, our rotations. Father Sin to start off with on this Tuesday, which means the following schedule goes as Wednesday is the Auto Rifle, Thursday will be the Grenade Launcher, Friday will be the Bow, oh, excuse me, that came out of nowhere. Saturday will be the Sniper again, and then rotating back around Sunday for the Auto Rifle, and Monday for the Grenade Launcher again. So, that's how we're rolling this week. If you need any sort of recommendation or need to screenshot something for the schedule, I will of course have my usual visual up on screen for you, but in the other worlds, that is pretty much everything there. Now, checking wait, no, that's the wrong one. Dares of Eternity, per the usual. Our Legend Mode is Cabal, Taken, and Crota, if you still need these after so long. Now, I didn't miss anything, did I? No, that's mostly it for the world rotations. So, moving into the other thing, quests. This should be the last week of new seasonal quests we get. They usually max out at 10, regardless of how far it goes. So, starting off, defeat Morak, Light Stealer, Ulnoth Light Cleanser, and Karesek Throne Bringer. This is basically, it doesn't have to be in the Legend Mode, you just have to do each of the 3 Psyops Battlegrounds and complete the boss. I do believe there is an active playlist that results in random encounters. Yep, this is a playlist that does any of them. It's only the legendary version, which I also think you don't have. Let me double check the details. That might not even need to be out of the playlist. That could possibly be done by just going to each of the individual ones. Yeah, it does just say Psyops Battlegrounds, so you probably only need to go to all 3 individually. Then also complete Psyops Battlegrounds. Complete all Psyops Battlegrounds in under 11 minutes each. If you had a common enough team, you probably have already done this. I don't think it needs to be Legends. No, it doesn't. It needs to be just in under 11 minutes to complete. A Night in the Moon, on the Moon. How did I just pronounce moon 2 different times? A Night on the Moon, earn progress by completing bounties, patrols, public events, and lost sectors. Basically just do stuff on the moon, and as well acquire the Stalwart skin for Reckless Endangerment. That awards whatever plane strike. Oh, that's probably a shader. And I'm pretty sure Stalwart skin is the Vanguard visual for Reckless Endangerment. I need to wait. Is that the wrong place? No, it's not. Yes, that's basically the strike one. So if you want an easy one to go for, that will Let me just respect my mouth. That is an easy one to go for if you want a healthy chunking of last minute seasonal XP. That being said, moving into the rest of the world, which I only really check one thing nowadays, and that's Banshee, because Ada, you know, she's never really worth it aside from maybe daily mods, but then most people just say them anyways. Percy's D, shoot to loot, and one for all. Now, I desperately want this one to be a craftable one because I feel like there's going to be some very good setups coming out of this one. This one's iffy because I like this one. I've seen a bunch of people swear by this one, but then most of the community seems to hate it. It does have some not so great roles. Shoot to loot isn't that great. I mean, I know it's handy in some scenarios, but it's rarely ever actually worth it. And one for all is pretty handy too, but on the scout rifle seems a little bit harder on occasion. Great, everyone's favorite new rapid-fire auto rifle. Steady Hands and Vorpal. Steady Hands for the Crucible, Vorpal for the super killing. If you wanted a good roll, ricochet rounds, extended barrel, or full bore, you do have your options for the Crucible-wise. Pleiadius Corrector, we have some options. Subsistence, Sympathetic Arsenal. They kind of work in tandem. That can be pretty handy, although Sympathetic Arsenal is, per the usual, still not at all actually worth the perk slot. There are definitely other things that could be more worth it. Readback F5 SI, one that is rated, I believe, S tier on Light.gg because, you know, Subsistence Rampage, and also it's a Vice gun, so everyone likes them because this is supposedly the best perk ever. I kind of disagree. But, in the other words, per the usual, even though it's an S tier sidearm, it's still a sidearm. I still hate using them. Then, Memory Interdict, another not too bad option. Alloy Casing, that's basically faster reload. Impulse Amplifier, also better. Unrelenting, a solid option as well. And as well, Typhon GL5. It has high velocity rounds. This one is kind of meh. Steady Hands is not the greatest for a power weapon, just because, you know, you need to swap to this, not the other way around. But, that being said, that is everything Banshee has, and I don't think I'm missing anything. No, that should be everything for the season. Now, as the season draws to a close, supposedly we're going to get... I've been seeing things all over the place because the hints are around that supposedly we'll be getting Solar 3.0 next season. There's nothing that's officially been confirmed yet, and I've seen other things about what the next season will be. Supposedly it's going to be another Destiny 2 Rise of Iron 3.0, technically, but, you know, there's all been speculations. But on that same note, with Grandmasters and everything, if you're worried that you're not going to be able to get your hands on any of the Adepts, I am just screwing up where I'm trying to go. If you're worried you're not going to be able to get your hands on any of the Adepts by the end of the season just because it's a difficult enough Lightfall, in the last couple of weeks of the season that this will pop up, all the strikes will be in this menu. I only have Lightblade and Birthplace because those are the only two I haven't done yet because of my Conquest thing, but regardless, in the next couple of weeks, that will light up and every single Nightfall will be available, so if anyone wants to actually grind out any Adepts that they are feared they're going to be missing, you'll be able to do it on a much easier strike this time around. Saber 2 or Scarlet Keep, Arms Dealer, one of those ones. On that note, thank you for watching. My name is Matt Scorpion, and I will see you in the next video.
Stop being concerned, no chances keep on passing us by. We're looking up.